You don't need to look at your notes, just see how much you remember. And first we talk about definition of economics, okay? And what is economics?
Decision science.
It's a decision science, and there's another keyword in the definition of the economics. What's that keyword? Limited resources, very good. Then after that, we talk about three concepts in the last class. What is the very first concept we talk about? Opportunity cost. Can you tell us what is opportunity cost? Your own words.
It's what you miss out on when you choose to do certain things rather than others.
What you have to give up in order to do what you do, right? Okay, opportunity cost. And does every activity or decision involve opportunity cost? Yes, right? Okay, every decision involves opportunity cost. Okay, and okay, that's the first concept. What is the second concept we learned? Marginalism, right? Marginalism. What is marginalism?
Comparison between two concepts.
Comparison between marginal cost and marginal benefit. Okay, what is marginal cost? What's the meaning of marginal? What's the meaning of the word marginal? Additional, right? Okay, so in the future, you may see marginal return, marginal revenue. You're going to see a lot of marginal. Every time you see marginal, that means additional. Okay, and so what does the marginalism concept tell us? So how do we realize optimal decision making?
When the cost equals the benefit.
Is the cost equal to benefit or marginal cost equal to benefit?
Yeah, the marginal cost.
Okay, it has to be not total cost, okay? So the marginal cost must equal to the marginal benefit in order to reach that optimal decision making. Okay, so that is marginalism. And then we learn another concept of cost. What is that? Sunk cost. What is sunk cost?
Something you can't get back in the future.
That's right. It's a cost that occurred at the very beginning. It cannot be avoided by a future action or decision, right? Okay. So that's the main three concepts we learned. Okay, we're going to keep learning more things today, and then we'll cover everything in chapter 1. Okay. And then after today, what I expect you to do is read the whole chapter. It's not a hard chapter. And it should not take you more than an hour to finish reading the whole chapter. Read the whole chapter, then be ready for the first homework. Okay? Okay, so the next concept we can talk about is called efficient or efficiency. Okay, we see this word all the time. But I'm going to introduce efficient market. Before I tell you what is efficient market, tell me what you think efficient market is, just by your own understanding. It does not have to be correct, but I just want to see how much you think efficient market is. I'm determined to make you active. I'm determined to change your characteristics, to make you more active in this class. I learned from my professor, if I just sit, stand here, wait, somebody's going to talk. So I'm going to do that. Again, there's no wrong answers. So what do you think is, we use this word efficient. This person is efficient. That person is not efficient. What do we mean by that?
Productive.
Huh?
Productive.
Productive. Good explanation. What else? What
Maybe
else?
it runs smoothly.
Huh?
Maybe it runs smoothly.
Things run smoothly. Work was done productively.
You get things done in a allotted amount of time.
Huh?
You get things done in an allotted amount of time.
without a lot of time, right?
They get things done in an allotted amount of time.
They get a lot of things done within a fixed amount of time, or what? Is it what you said?
Yeah.
Or but if we say this person efficient, this person does not require a lot of time, right? If this person use a lot of time to get things done, and we wouldn't call this person efficient, right? Do you agree?
I said allotted, meaning like a fixed amount of time.
Yes, that's right. In a lot. Okay.
Allotted.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah. In a fixed amount of time, they can get a lot of work done. Okay. So that's what you learn. It's very, very close to the word efficiency I'm going to introduce you. But here, efficient market means totally different things. Okay. Efficient market means that if there's opportunity to make a profit, then all the firms, all the potential competitors can see that opportunity right away, can jump into it, and so that profit opportunity will be exhausted in no time. That's what we mean by efficient market. So if a market is efficient, then nobody, no firm is able to maintain a positive profit margin for a very long time. Because then everybody can see it, they can, enter into this market and start making the substitutes or similar product, and that will drive the profit down. Eventually, the profit margin will converge to zero. Okay, think about it. I think iPod came to the market about 10 years ago. You guys remember? I know you'll be very young. Is it about 10 years ago? I think it's about 10 years ago, iPod came to the market. And that's the very first MP3 player, and that's in the market. And it was sold for at the beginning it sold for a lot of money, $400, something like that. And Apple made a lot of money for a couple of years, actually for a couple of years. But after a couple of years, what happened? Do you guys remember? Maybe you're too young to. After a couple of years, other electronic company entered into this market, start making MP3 players, okay? And it's substitutes, it's not the same, but they are still MP3 players, okay? So then we see the market price for iPod went down. The profit margin for this product went down. So eventually, what happened? Apple got off the iPod market, right? Start making something else. What's the next product launched after iPod?
iTouch. iTouch.
iTouch, right? Mm-hmm. Why they went to launch another product? There's no profit left in making iPod. Okay, but the profit opportunity for Apple company lasted for a couple years. Do we call that market efficient market? I wouldn't call that efficient market. What we mean by efficient market is profit margin cannot maintain for a very long time. In that market, MP3 market, you have competitors. However, you only have a few very competitive electronic companies that are able to compete with Apple company. Okay. So in that market, even there's competition, but competition is not tough enough to drive every bit of profit away in a very short period of time. So we call that market not inefficient. But let's use another example, which is close to an efficient market. You all buy textbook, right? You can either buy textbooks from the bookstore or you can buy from where? In the internet, from Amazon. I know that a lot of students buy a textbook from Amazon, right? And people sell used textbook. Okay, they put a price there, you can see the price. Do you see a big variation of the price on Amazon for one particular textbook? Do you see a big variation? Have you guys noticed, or have you started looking? Actually, you don't. All the prices for the used textbook for one particular textbook is very, very close. Okay? If somebody, want to make more money, they just increase a little bit price. What happened to that seller? They will not have anybody to buy from them because there's other sellers who sell at a cheaper price, right? Okay. And if anybody lowers the price, if they are able to lower the price and just lower a little bit, what happened? Everybody will buy that book, right? Then the other sellers, the incentive for the other sellers to lower the price to that price too. So eventually, we call this is market clear price. The price dropped to the level where it cannot be dropped anymore. And then the price stays like that. Okay, so everybody sell the used textbook at that price, and then if the consumer want to buy, and that's the price they're gonna take. So this is what we call a very competitive market. So in order to have an efficient market, so one condition is this. Perfect competitive. You must have a perfect competition. If you don't have the perfect competition, like in the MP3 player, no, you will not see the profit margin, and going away in a short period of time. Make sense, this guys? Okay, so very first condition for the efficient market is perfect competition. Perfect competition requires what? A lot of competitors. Okay. Second condition, perfect information. Okay, why this is important? In most of the market, the information is not perfect. For example, I just bought a car. Okay, I'm selling my old car. In this used car market, there is what we call the asymmetric information. What do I mean by that? Asymmetric information. You guys know the word symmetric, asymmetric? Yes or no? Asymmetric. Asymmetric. What is asymmetric? Not symmetric. Okay, so it's all right. So in addition to the concept, do you guys know this word, symmetric? If one person, most of our features not symmetric, which means the left side is not exactly the same as the right side. That means symmetry, symmetric. Asymmetry means not the same. The two sides are not the same, not identical. That means asymmetric. Okay, so you learn a word for foreigner today. Okay, learn English word. Okay, so what I mean by asymmetric information is, in this market, used car market, you have a buyer and you have a seller, right? And if buyer and the seller have the same amount of information about this product that is about to be sold, then we call this a symmetric information market. But in the used car market, it is not symmetric, right? Why? Somebody explain to me why it is not symmetric. This is not something technical, it's just something requires intuition.
The seller knows more about the car than the person is buying it.
Yes. The seller has more information. I know more about my car than the potential buyer do, right? So I know, whether I run into accident or not. I know whether I, had a good maintenance on this car or not. All this information and tell something about the quality of this car, which is also very important into the buyer, right? But the buyer does not have that information. Well, they could right now, they can go online, use a VIN number to get a report. That report probably tells you a lot of things about, what happened to the car. Okay, so that's one way to alleviate asymmetric information. But in general, in this market, we have, when we go to used car dealer, there's asymmetric information there. As a buyer, we do not know how good this car is, right? Okay. So why that would be a problem in a transaction? Why that would be a problem to lead to an efficient market? Critical question, critical thinking question. Why would that be a problem? Because if it's not perfect information, if it is asymmetric, then we won't have efficient market. Why?
Customer expectation,
Can you explain?
because, I mean, if the customer expects a certain thing that they're not getting that, and the seller knows that they're not gonna get that, then it's not a good barter system, it's not a good trade-off.
On the red track. Alice, why that cause a problem? Why that will be problematic for efficient market? Do you guys understand my question? You don't understand my question? Which part you don't understand?
What are you asking for specifically? What do you mean, how does it not lead to an efficient?
Okay, so I just talked in used car market, we have asymmetric information, right? You understand that part? The seller knows more about this car than the buyer do, okay? And I say, if we have asymmetric information, that means the information is not perfect, that will cause problem to the market. So that will lead to inefficient market. So why that would lead to inefficient market? So why asymmetric information would cause market to be inefficient? That's the question.
Maybe if one person, if the seller was selling the car and that person isn't satisfied, then maybe other people aren't gonna start buying used cars because of that person not being satisfied, or more people not being satisfied.
Okay, good. You want to say something too?
The seller can hold certain information away from the buyer, therefore making the car more expensive without the buyer knowing it, so that it would lead to
Good point. I'll tell you what happened. Okay, I'm selling my car. I have not sold yet. Okay, what I'm asking for my old car is $6,000. But do you know what I get? People, a couple emails. One person asked me, "Will you take for $4,500?" That car is definitely worth more than $6,000. Another email, "Will you take $4,700?" And the other person, "Will you take $5,500?" You can explain this kind of behavior as a negotiation. You can, but there's much more than that. Okay, now let me explain to you why people ask for $4,500, $4,700, $1,500. Okay, because they do not know how good your car is. If they know how good my car is, they probably willing to pay more than $6,000 for this car. But since they do not know it, they have to take the risk of this being lemon into consideration. Thus, they will not be willing to pay what the car's worth because they don't have that information. If I'm the buyer, I would do the exact same thing. Since I do not know this car is really, really good, I'm not going to give you a very good offer, right? What if this car is bad? Then I have to take the chance. So what asymmetric information causes is it causes the buyer to lower their price. Because they are not sure about the quality, so they are not willing to pay what this car is worth. If they have perfect information about my car, I'm pretty sure some people may be willing to pay $7,000 for this car. So that is where it causes a problem. So somebody actually, if with a perfect information, actually would be willing to pay $6,000 for my car, and the transaction would be done by now. But due to the asymmetric information, people don't want to pay that much. They want to pay only $4,500 or $5,000. And because of that, the transaction has not been made yet. And there is a chance I may not sell the car. So this is inefficiency, what we're talking about. Somebody has the money, is willing to pay $6,000 and for this particular product, but they could not get it because of the information is not there. And me as a seller, I have this product that is desired by somebody else and with a reasonable price, but I could not sell it, and because of this asymmetric information. So in this situation here, actually both seller and the buyer lose due to the lack of information. Does it make sense to you guys? Okay, that is a huge problem in a lot of markets here. Okay. So later on we're going to talk about how do we alleviate this problem, this asymmetric information problem. How do we alleviate? That's why we have this Carfax, right? And that's why people ask me for the VIN number so they can check it. Okay. And also, if you buy from the dealership, sometimes the dealer give you a warranty, right? Okay, a couple of years warranty. And tell you, when they offer you warranty, should you buy or not? When the dealer offer you warranty, should you buy it or not? And why? Let's say this dealer will offer you warranty on this used car, for let's say $1,500 for another 30,000 miles, okay, on this used car. What does that tell you? The dealer offer you a warranty on this used car. What does that tell you?
What's wrong with it?
You think if something wrong with it, the dealer is going to offer you extended warranty?
Or not?
They want you to
It
trust.
will be exactly opposite, right? If the dealer knows this car is great, it's not going to go wrong in 30,000 miles, then they will sell you this extended warranty. If they know this car is not in a quite good condition, they may lose money if they offer you the warranty, and they will not sell the warranty, right? Okay, so whenever the dealer offer you a warranty on used car, and that is a signal. Signal tells you this is a decent car, and you definitely should not buy that warranty. The chance of that car will go wrong is small when they offer you an extended warranty. But if they don't, then that's another signal shows that this may not be a good one. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's again the warranty part is another way to alleviate symmetry information. So later on we're going to go into details, talk more about how should we alleviate this. But because if we don't alleviate this, we will not have an efficient market. The transaction may not be made due to that. Okay. It's very, very important. Perfect information, perfect competition are all requirements for efficient market. What the other one? Can you see this word? Externality. Externality. Did you hear this word before? In the first class? Did I mention this word in the first class when I explained to you about my cell phone policy? Anybody remember I mentioned that word? Okay, you just remember the cell phone policy, you did not remember that word, okay? Actually, it is based on the externality concept. What is externality? There's two externality, positive externality and the negative externality. Negative externality means that you action impose a cost on others. For example, a manufacturer who produce good that pollute air, pollute water. That action impose a cost on the community, on the citizens. So that's negative externality. If you are a reckless driver, you put danger of everybody else around you, right? You put danger into everybody else around you. Then that is negative externality. Okay, and you all live in a dorm. If your neighbor plays really loud music, affect you, studying, affect you sleep, that is called the negative externality. Okay, so that's the meaning of externality, negative externality. You action impose a cost on others. Okay, and what is a positive externality? What is a positive externality?
Your action has a benefit.
Yes, your action actually provide a benefit. If you are a careful driver, and then it's less likely you're going to, cause harm to the drivers around you, right? Okay, and if you live in a dorm and you study very hard, and your behavior will probably have some positive impact on you, roommates. Okay, and if some people here in the class are very active, like to ask questions, that probably can bring other people, make other people ask questions too. Positive externality. Your action provides some benefit to others. Okay, so that is externality. So why externality is also important, a concept in the efficient market. If the market is efficient, then it requires no negative externality. No negative externality. Or the negative externality has to be taken into account. For example, if you produce, water that's going to contaminate the river, okay, you have to pay a fine or pay a tax on it, okay. So by paying a fine and paying tax, that when you decide how much to produce this good, you're going to take that tax, take that cost into your consideration into your decision making, how much to produce, and then that part is being taken care of. Okay.
Would taxes be positive or negative externality, or both?
Tax is not a externality.
It's not.
It's not externality. Yeah. But tax can have both benefit and cost on the economy. We're going to actually explain the impact of tax later. Good. Somebody asked a question. What other question? Okay. For example, let me give you another example. That is, I always love this example because this really shows the power of economics actually. I suppose you have you guys, most of you live in the dorm, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't live dorm, you travel, okay, okay. Some people live in the dorm, okay. Let's say your neighbor is like to play really, really loud music, okay, and you really do not know. Let's say your neighbor is a guy and you're a guy too, right? Plays this loud music, and he's really not obligated to turn off the music for you. Okay, he's not obligated to do it, but it really bothers you. You cannot sleep well. It affects you study. It affects a lot of things. But so you decide to, in order to solve this problem, you decide to start hanging out with him. Okay. You start becoming friend with him. So once in a while, you know, you will take him out to the place wing to get him some wings, get him a beer. So you're getting to know each other, okay? You become eventually good friends. After you became good friends, he feel obligated now to turn down the music. Okay, it's a very simple story, right? You did not tell the supervisor, you did not involve any third party in. You just hung out, became friends with him. Eventually, this music was turned down, and the problem of this negative externality is solved. What does this story tell you from the economic point of view? You can say, oh, the friendship take care of everything, you can say that, but let's use economics too, to analyze what happened there.
Does it let you have the compromise?
Compromise. Okay. Other opinions? Negative externality eventually went away because of what? Did it just disappear for no reason? Or something happened?
The wings and the beer helped.
They paid for it. You paid for this negative externality to go away. Okay. So from this story, what it shows that even though there's no third party, there's no supervisor, there's no regulation involved, the negative externality can go away in the market. Okay, if the market can take care of this negative externality sometimes, and in this simple example, it shows that there is a buyer and there is a seller of this negative externality. Okay, who is the seller of the negative externality?
The one that plays the music?
Hmm?
The one that plays the loud music?
That's the seller, right? And you self, who pay for it, is a buyer. You buy this, you pay for this negative externality, eventually went away. So what is, the simple story tells you that, yes, if the negative externality does not go away, we will not have efficient market. In that case, the person, you will not be able to study well, okay? And it really affects your daily activity, so you will not have an efficient life in a sense, okay? But by paying for it, both parties are happy. You're happy, yeah, you just bought some wings and some beers, and you're willing to pay for that, then you don't have to suffer from the loud music. But the other person, he is happy, he got a friend, he got some beer and wings. Okay, both parties happy. Okay, so that's what we call is efficient market. So this tells you, not only negative externality affect the efficient market, but also sometimes can be taken care of in the market, but sometimes it can't. Okay, when it can't, then the government need to step in. Government need to intervene. That's where the tax, and the fines and regulation come into place. Okay, why do we need the fines, regulation? That's because when the market cannot take care of this negative externality itself, then we have to use something else. Does it make sense, guys? Okay. I know I'm explaining, throwing a lot of actually concept here, but this actually because I want you to kind of think in, start thinking things. Everything in this life, you can look at this through economic lens. You know, that's what I want to train you to do. Look at everything through economic lens. Then you're going to become like a economist, to think like a economist. Okay. So that's the three main things that will cause the problem for efficient market. So again, what is efficient market? Efficient market is a market where the profit margin cannot be maintained for a longer period of time and will go down very, very soon. Okay. So any other questions? I do want you to be more active. Okay, so we're in the third class today. Is it third class? Okay, but I only see a few people talk. Okay, I want everybody to engage. All right, okay, so right, okay, so now I'm going to talk about full economic objectives. Full economic objectives. Okay, so when the policymaker design the economic policy, they must have some economic objectives in mind, okay? And we can categorize all the economic activity or policy into the following four categories of the objectives. Okay. So the very first objective is efficiency. Efficiency. We just talk about efficient market, okay? And efficiency means something a little bit different, okay? Efficiency actually is what you told us earlier. Efficiency means, you know, you use the least amount of resources to produce the most, okay? So when we say somebody is very efficient, actually that's what we mean. This person uses the least amount of time or resources to produce the most activity. So use the least amount of resources to produce the most. That means efficiency. And for consumer, the efficiency means that you use a limited amount of income to maximize your utility. Okay, so that means you're an efficient consumer. Okay, and if you are a farm owner, okay, and the efficiency means you use the least amount of the resources, produce the most. Produce the most. And if you are a policymaker, how do we explain the efficiency? How would you call efficient policymaker? If a policymaker is efficient,
Use a less amount of time to come up with a best policy.
that's good explanation or thought about. Even the definition is different, but I like that. Okay. So we say if a policymaker's goal is to maximize the social welfare, which we will talk about what is social welfare, then efficient policymaker means they use the least amount of the society's resources to produce the highest social welfare. Use the least amount of society's resources to produce the highest social welfare. Okay. So that's what we call the efficient government and efficient policymaker. So that's efficiency. So efficiency is one of the economic objectives. Okay. So that's the second one. equity. What is equity? Fairness, be equal, okay, among all citizens. Okay, fairness. That's another economic objective. Okay. Third one, growth. What is the
You said equity is what?
fairness? Fairness.
Equality?
Equality? Fairness. Has another meaning, this word.
Equity?
Equity. I know what you're thinking, but it has this meaning too. Deep now. So growth means an increase in GDP, right? Okay, that is also one of the economic objectives. And the last one is stability. Stability. Stability means a growth with low inflation and full employment. Okay. So those are four different economic objectives. Different policymakers have different focus. Okay. And also, some objectives are achieved at the cost of the others. Some objective is achieved at the cost of others. Can you tell me which objective is achieved at the cost of which one? You guys understand my question, right? Which objective is achieved at the cost of which objective?
If you have,
So there you go.
if you have more equity, you have more growth. Guess.
If you have more equity, you will have more growth.
If you show more equity, you gain more growth.
That wouldn't be at the cost first, as a cost, right?
If things are more efficient, then you have more growth.
It's likely, but it still is not at the cost of the growth, right? Right. We have one, so when I say one object, you're gonna say something?
To be efficient and make money, it would cost fairness.
Very good. So efficiency is achieved actually sometimes at the cost of the equity. And the equity is achieved sometimes at the cost of the efficiency. Okay. And you all know the fast economic growth in China right now. Actually, China just become biggest economy in the world. Slightly bigger, the GDP slightly bigger than the United States. Okay. And in the last 20 years, it has achieved a lot of economic growth and has achieved a lot of efficiency. But what the country has sacrificed on is equity. You see a lot of rich, but you see a lot of poor. You can just walk on the street, randomly pick one person, that person can be a millionaire. It's very likely you just walk in the street and randomly pick one. And there's high likelihood that person is a millionaire. But then you randomly pick a person, that person can have less than $400 per month. Both very likely. Okay. So that economic growth, that efficiency, achieved at cost of equity. Okay, so these two sometimes conflict with each other. And if you want to achieve equity fairness, you have to do a lot of income wealth redistribution. When you do a lot of wealth and income redistribution, that's probably going to kill the incentive of entrepreneurship, innovation, and the business creating. So that's going to cause lower economic growth and cause lower efficiency. Okay. But some government, okay, in some party, focus on one or the other. And that question, I leave you to think. Okay, which party focus on which objective, economic objective? Okay, so that's a question I want to leave you to think about, and it's not hard. Okay. And what about these two? These two, the last two. Growth and stability. Growth and stability. I would like to think that should be the objective for all government and all parties to achieve high economic growth and also the stability. Okay. But these two, sometimes, one party or one government has more focus on one than the other. Okay. So the next week I'm going to show you a documentary and show you some history of economic thoughts, and I want you to actually talk about the two parties in this country and what are their economic objectives focus. Any question here? Are you guys following me here? Okay, good. Okay, so the rest of chapter is just some terms you need to know. Okay, for example, positive economics and normative economics. Positive economics, do you have the book? Most of you do not have the book. Okay. Where did you get your book, Josh?
It came in yesterday in the mail.
Oh, you bought it online? Okay, so the rest of this is just methodologies. Okay, so first one is positive economics. And the next one is normative economics. We're going to talk about microeconomics and microeconomics. Empirical economics and theoretical economics. If you cannot read my handwriting, let me know, okay? Okay, so those are some terminology and methodology I want to introduce you. Positive economics. What is positive economics? It's a study of economics without the policy recommendation. Without the policy recommendation. Okay, so I can get a piece of data and I just want to just going to show what's the correlation among those variables, and without any recommendation. Okay, and the normative economics is economic study with recommendation. Okay, usually in this study will show, okay, the government should impose a tax, which is $2 per unit. The government should not impose a tax, and which is $2. And that's the kind of normative economics. It's a It's a study with judgment, okay? Okay, so that's very straightforward. You can read a book, and you'll get it. Okay, microeconomics, micro, MI, okay? Microeconomics studies the decision making by the individuals. The decision making by the individual firms. The decision making by the individual industries. Okay, if I want to know the why unemployment is this number in the healthcare industry, that is considered as a microeconomic study because it deals with a particular industry. Okay, and if I want to know and how an increase in tax going to affect consumers' spending behavior on iPhones, and that is a microeconomic study because it deals with individuals' decision making. Okay. You don't have to leave at 16?
Ma'am?
You don't have to leave. Where's your next class?
It's at a science building.
So it takes you a while to walk.
Yes, ma'am. I have to move my vehicle and stuff.
Huh?
I have to move my truck. I drive. I commute every day.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
do you have to leave at 2:15, 16 every time, or is it?
I'd probably be late if I stayed the extra 10 minutes, to be honest.
Okay. All right. So then I have to take that into consideration. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though it's just one student, I have to.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's not your problem. Okay. I have to think about this. Okay. So for microeconomic study, it all deal with individuals' decision making. Okay. But for the macro MA, deal with the measurement at aggregate level. For example, it talks about what is national income, okay, and how do we determine national output, and how do we determine the national price. So this study it deal with the all different measurement at the aggregate level. Empirical economics. Okay, what is empirical economics? Empirical economics is a study of using data. We collect data. We analyze data. We want to see what data tells us. Use data. Theoretical economics. Theoretical economics does not require any data, which is actually the field I am in. Okay, I'm a theoretical economist. So which means what I do is I build mathematical models, then I solve the mathematical models, and I use a solution to make a prediction about certain economic outcome. Okay, no data involved, just pure mathematical models. Okay, so that's theoretical economics. But empirical economists will have to use the data to write any research or paper. And this is just two big categories, but and within each category, there's a lot of different fields. For example, and we have labor economics, deal with unemployment, and labor supply, labor demand. And we have health economics, deal with healthcare industry, healthcare regulation policy, insurance, anything like that. And then we have a game theory field, microeconomics theory field, which is my field. And use game theory to analyze, predict, and different player, different parties, action and also the market outcome. And also we have industry organization, studies the interaction among the different industry and among the different firms. So within each category, you have a lot of different fields, okay? So when we enter into a PhD level, at third year, you have to choose a particular field to specialize in, and you work on the dissertation on that topic for the next couple of years. Okay, so this is some of the methodologies. Okay, so first time okay, so there's so this is theories and models, method of economics, and there's some cautions and pitfalls I'm going to ask you to read. It's pretty straightforward. You have to read because some of the homework question will require you to understand those terms. Okay, so that section I want you to read it yourself. But I do want to do a couple graphs in the last 5 minutes. If we have a graph like that, is it decreasing slope or increasing slope? Decreasing slope, okay? And let me change it. Is it decreasing with the increasing rate or decreasing with decreasing rate?
Why don't you know what you're saying?
Decreasing with the increasing rate or decreasing with a decreasing rate? Have you heard of this expression? Decreasing with certain rate? You should have learned this. Huh? When we say decreasing with certain rate, it means the speed of decreasing. Okay, if you have a straight line, the speed of decreasing is
Decreasing at a decreasing rate?
this is constant. So it's decreasing at constant speed. But this is not. It is decreasing at a different speed.
Decrease.
This is decreasing with an increasing rate. Decreasing with an increasing rate. You guys did not learn this in your math class? Decreasing with an increasing rate. So this is actually decreasing with a constant rate. Okay. How about if I do this?
It's decreasing with the increasing rate.
Decreasing with decreasing rate.
Decreasing with
The rate is the slope, right?
uh-huh. And it's very intuitive, look at the way it decreases. Not as fast as this, right? Okay, so this is something I want to. Okay, so do you guys learn how to calculate the slopes? If I give you 2 points, this is 1, 2, this is 3 and 4. How do you calculate the slope? The value on the y-axis is 3 and 4. The value on the x-axis is 1, 2. How do we calculate the slope?
Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus
Louder?
Y2 minus Y1
Good.
over X2 minus X1.
Right? This is the formula, right? Okay. So if we use this is point 1, this is point 2, and y2 would be what? 3 minus 4, x2 minus x1 would be 2 minus 1. This is a formula. So you define point 1, the point 2, then y2 is y value for point 2, x2 is x value for the point 2, and you just find value. You will need this to do some calculation. Okay, so keep checking the book in the bookstore, okay?